Welcome to the Douro Valley. We have some repairs that we need to take care of, so we have to head back to Porto and get our faucet repaired. We didn't cause the damage, it's just a faulty part. As part of daily maintenance here in Stealthy, our little RV, sometimes things go wrong, just like with a regular household. Our kitchen sink faucet stopped working. It would only work when we ran the pump from the bathroom one. So to get this fixed, we had to shoot over to Porto. Luckily, we were still in the north and go into one of the local rental service centers to have it fixed up. So we were back in business with our faucet. While we were in the service center, it was a good time to address another issue that we were having. While we've been driving, we've been plugged into the USB-C port for our computer. This does not provide any amount of juice in order to charge a laptop. If we were driving for 5 hours, it would go up by maybe 1 or 2% on the USB-C. It needs a direct power adapter. So we were looking for that solution. As part of a mobile living today in the digital age, you need power. Power for your phone, power for your camera, power for your computer, especially if you're editing on your computer and doing YouTube videos. You need power for editing. We were finding that we were spending a bit more time in cafes and in malls and in campgrounds than we really wanted to be, just in order to charge our electronics. In today's day and age, there are so many different electronics that we have. So I was looking for a solution to this problem. And here at the service center, I found it. This is the Dometic power inverter. It converts 12 volt to 230 volt. And it's exactly what we needed. While we're driving, I can plug it into the 12 volt socket and plug my computer in and charge it up while we're driving. That way we don't have to stop at coffee shops and secretly and suspiciously find a little plug-in to plug it in for an hour. We don't have to stop in malls at length or campgrounds. Really, it was the last piece of the puzzle that was missing. Our water supply was good and our electricity for the van was good. It was simply power for our electronics. I needed to be able to charge my laptop in order to do the editing. So I'm hoping this little device does a trick and it allows us to be off grid even more, charging our devices, and I can edit at will. We are back in business. That's a great thing.
The drive towards Pinhao and beyond is honestly one of the most scenic drives in Portugal, following the majestic Douro River as it meanders through the Douro region. There are many wonderful views of terraced vineyards and so many places to stop for wine tasting. Of course, it's possible to explore the Douro Valley by riverboat. However, by car, you can also wander off path and view some of the remote viewpoints and stop wherever you please. There is also a train, which is highly recommended. It's been an amazing few days, starting in Guimarães through Amarante and now here in the Douro Valley. It's been a lot of fun and somewhere so beautiful to visit.
Douro Valley tour is highly recommended, just to walk around and taste the grapes fresh off the vine, and of course, maybe a little bit of sampling of their local port.
There's so many wineries to stop at. We chose a few, but there's so many others to choose from as well.
That's the drive. That's definitely the steepest mountain road I've driven on so far with Stealthy. So we're parked finally at our first Douro wine tasting.
It's so beautiful with vines everywhere on the house that we're at, as well as this little terrace and looking over all the vineyards. Check it out. I've actually never done a wine tour before, so I'm pretty excited.
We're about to try a few different vintages of this local port, but it's just more about the setting here, the ambience of these little quintas and their winery estates. These gift shops are a lot of fun. Often these buildings, these quintas, are steeped in history, hundreds of years of history, and it's just fun looking around at all the things that you can buy or sample or just check out of interest.
to the Ruby port. It's from a single year, 2018, and aged 5 years in big barrels.
White.
The taste is not so fruity, it's smoother. When you open a bottle, 6 months to drink it, and it's got its sweet dessert, cream caramel, almond pie, pastel de nata. Cheers!
Cheers!
20-year-old port. What do you think?
I love it. What do I think? It was super fun to try 3 different port wines. It was sweet and one was a little more bitter, but we enjoyed them all. And now it's time to go to the next one. We stopped for a coffee here in Pinhao, which is an absolutely beautiful, pretty little town, and was absolutely the highlight of this journey on the Douro River. From here, we are heading to the Sandeman winery, which is definitely a destination winery. There are so many spectacular hills and valleys and views on the way up to the winery, but it's also somewhat demanding for driving because it includes tight turns and a lot of switchbacks. It's a lot of fun to drive, and we enjoyed arriving at the Sandeman winery.
I can't believe we're driving up here. Tell you what, Stealthy can go anywhere. Well, we made it, the 222 highway at the Sandeman winery. Beautiful. And what a great place to stop for lunch and dry out the awning from the rain.
And clean the inside before we eat.
For even more of our day-to-day second half of life here in retirement in Portugal, follow us on Instagram.
Here we have wild rosemary. I thought it was lavender, but oh, it's pretty. Take a look at the beautiful riverboat heading down the Douro River. That is absolutely something on our bucket list that Doug and I want to do.
We are at the top of the Douro Valley by the Sandeman Quinta, by the Sandeman winery, and we got a prime parking spot up here. You don't see many motorhomes up here. Usually they're too big. Ours is a perfect size to get up these windy roads and park here and have a great lunch with a view. We have a wine tasting tour booked for later. In the meantime, we're going to set up our awning here and have a great lunch.
We had a fantastic wine tour at the House of Sandeman and sampled so many wines and had such a good time. But now as the day comes to an end, we are going to jump in stealthy and find a place to camp. What a spectacular place in the world to watch the sun set. We are so lucky to call this country home.
We're going to call that a wrap for this episode.
Thank you so much for following along. And as always, check back in and
Track us down. Stop recording.